Research by Traweza in 2018 shows that only 1 out of 3 patients can get prescriptions from government hospitals, but not medicine. These patients are normally referred to private pharmacies where they buy this medicine at exorbitant fees. Despite this realization, President Museveni recently directed all private pharmacies housed within government hospitals to be closed after some were found to be selling government drugs. However, Mulago National Referral Hospital is yet to close the private pharmacies there. Tonight on the spot, we host the executive director of the hospital, Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, on whether they are defying a presidential directive or not. Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, thank you very much for honoring our invitation. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you. You are most welcome, and good evening, viewers.
You know, I'm excited to host you, Dr. Byarugaba, because you are the chief executive of the hospital that is being renovated, the Mulago Hospital. Right. It's our national referral hospital. Let me begin asking about the colossal sums of money that have been sunk in the rehabilitation of Mulago, and take us through what this money has done so far, and if it's finally done, what kind of hospital we shall be able to get.
Thank you very much. Mulago Hospital, as everybody knows, is the Supreme Court of Medicine, the giant of health, meaning that this is an area, a place where all the difficult cases in this country actually referred. Now, Mulago Hospital, National Referral Hospital, undertook to do what we call renovation. Thanks be to the government of the Republic of Uganda for securing the funds to renovate Mulago Hospital through African Development Bank. Now, what is happening is that we have done not only renovation, but remodeling, re-equipping of the hospital. We have actually improved the ambience that was there, improved the rooms on 6th floor, increased the number of theaters. Now we have got 22 theaters armed with the state-of-the-art equipment that in sub-Saharan Africa, nobody has got a better theater than actually what we have.
But let me ask, if the general hospitals and the regional referral hospitals in other places of Uganda are not worked upon, where people should come from and then they are referred to you, it appears that Mulago Hospital, referral hospital, will still work like any other hospital because the other hospitals are not doing their job.
No, it is not true that the other hospitals have not been worked on. When you look at a hospital like Masaka, Jinja, Rira, and so forth, all of them have been facelifted, and the equipment and health workers have been posted there, and equipment has been bought, which means that Mulago, working together with the Ministry of Health, we are trying to improve actually the referral system. So Mulago will work very well with the improved referral system. So we are not working around.
But improve the referral system, Dr. Byarugaba.
Yes.
I have seen hospitals, for example, where ambulances are grounded for just a simple reason, because there's no fuel or maybe a simple mechanical failure. And you see a fleet of ambulances, in some cases even grass growing underneath. That is the situation. Sometimes they have to ask a patient to look for money to buy fuel to refer somebody to the next regional hospital or even a referral hospital. So the issue of referring is kind of difficult.
It is possible that in some areas it may be difficult, but I want to assure you that with the renovation of Mulago Hospital, the building of Kawempe Hospital, Chirud Hospital, Naguru Hospital, the Women's Specialized Hospital, the referral system, especially here within Kampala, has totally improved. You can see actual ambulances crossing from Mulago to Chirudu to Kawempe. Makayu, I was the executive director of Chirudu, Kawempe, Women's Specialized Hospital, and Mulago up to recently. 1st of July, and I can tell you comfortably that the referral system is in place. Just fall sick and we see what happens. We transfer you from Mulago Hospital to Chirudu to Kawempe, and we have no problem with that. And now the mechanism, the system put in place is to improve those referral systems from those regional referral hospitals to Mulago, to Kawempe, and so forth. And we are actually getting there. So that one, no doubt about it. Just watch the space. We are there.
You seem to have really concentrated on improving the concrete and mortar, building the structures. I wonder what you are doing to the software, the human resource, attracting the best human resource, retaining them, paying them well, motivating them, so that when we come to those hospitals as patients, we don't find a demoralized staff.
I want to assure you that from 2014, we've been actually training our human resource. Now, sometimes people ask me a question, but the number of human resources you have is not enough. I have Makerere College of Health Sciences. We work together. I may not have enough human resources in terms of numbers, but when you add us together with those of Makerere University, actually we are enough. And we have had people train in India, in America, in Egypt, and we have also had a number of bilateral partners. We have bilateral partners, for example, in India.
So you're talking about students coming from the College of Health Science or medical school,
I
right?
am talking about professors, associate professors, senior lecturers actually working with us, because we also teach.
You also have intern doctors.
Yes, we also
and
have,
we know that the intern doctors have been having issues with government because they are not getting the allowances they need and the remuneration that they require.
You see, we are talking of people, the money power that is going to do the work. And I'm talking of the money power to do the work after the innovation. These are specialized doctors. These are senior doctors. The professors, associate professors, senior consultants and consultants. These people, I have got them in big numbers. And those ones whom I don't have, we are working with the bilateral partners from Egypt, from the USA, from the Uganda, UK Health Alliance, and from Yashoda Hospital, who are actually coming to work with us. For instance, when we take up to do organ transplant, like kidney transplant, liver transplant, and so forth, we are going to start with these people working with us until we get into the system of doing these things, and in a short time I can assure you that we shall be there.
You know, Dr. Byarugaba, we understand the new women's hospital, you truly have high-tech equipment, 21st century medical equipment installed there, but we also hear that you do not have people. I was reading this in an article to operate some of these machines, that you have a deficit of people with the requisite capacity to run the 21st century equipment that you just brought into the new women's hospital. I
have assured you that the people we have, and we have been training.
Haven't you read that story?
Yes, we may not have enough people in every area, but the people they are talking about, actually when many people are talking, they look at the payroll of the women's hospital, but they don't see the payroll of Makerere University, that the College of Health Sciences has got expertise in terms of in those people are professors, associate professors and lecturers who are working with us. And they don't look at that. When you come to Mulago Hospital and find a department of obs and gynae, we have got 40 people. Remember that Makerere University also has got like 30, and that when they're added together, then we have got 70. So let's look at these people actually combined together. And I have also alluded to the fact that where we don't have expertise, we are going to get expertise from bilateral partners with whom we work. The Duke University, I've told you, the hospitals in India, the Uganda UK Health Alliance, that actually are working with us. And even the regional referral hospitals also have got expertise with whom we work together. They come, they run more, and they go back and do these things. This is how we have.
But in the people who have been able to access services at that new referral hospital, for the women's hospital, specialized women's hospital, they say the exorbitant bills they have to pay there. In fact, to most Ugandans, it is not affordable for somebody to go and get help from health services from that hospital. What do you make of that? And
I want to tell you this, that Mulago National Referral Hospital, where of course which has produced the specialized women and neonatal hospital, is a national referral. It is offering services to the tertiary referred patients. When you enter the women's hospital and you have been referred from this regional referral hospital, from Zambia or Rubaga, you are treated for free. The people actually who are mainly charged are those who come, and I want to see, for example, Dr. Byarugaba here, you want to see Dr. Ivrin, Dr. Peter, and so forth and so forth.
Dr. Nakabembe.
Yes. So when you come and you want to book a personal doctor, definitely you have got to pay. but what you pay is less than what you would pay in Nakasero or in IHK and so forth.
I've read about so many people who have gone to this hospital and they say it is not affordable, Dr. Byarugaba. Perhaps you do not understand the economics and the means of our people.
I have told you that actually I have been the executive director of this until I handed it over on this financial year. And I know that those private patients, we are cheaper than what is actually on the market. We are very cheap, completely cheap. And that's a fact. You can actually go and verify from Nakasero or International Hospital, we are cheaper. And people are able to afford. Those who are referred properly, they are worked on free of charge. You are referred.
What do you mean free of charge?
You see, when you are referred from Masaka, for instance, and you come to the women's specialized women and neonatal hospital, you are treated. If you have a tumor in your body, you are done. A laparotomy is removed, and you go home. There is no problem. Just as you go to Masaka Hospital or Kawempe and they work on you, as long as you are properly referred. The problem is people want to refer themselves, well knowing this is a national referral. You know, you are a national referral.
So then why do you accept people to refer themselves then?
No, those who refer themselves are people who come and they want to pay. And that's why, because you cannot stop a person from going to seek medical attention when he has his money or her money. So those ones who bring themselves, they are able to pay. But those who are referred, they are worked on for free. No
so
doubt
can you tell us with certainty that since this hospital was built, it has reduced on the medical tourism for the part of Uganda? For those who have been going to Nairobi, going to India, South Africa to seek medical attention, especially the women who want specialized attention?
Actually, the women who want specialized attention, especially those who were not coming to Mulago because of the hotel facility, that Mulago was dirty and so forth. This is a very clean hospital, high-end hospital, and everything is there. So we are seeing a number of who would have otherwise gone to South Africa to deliver, coming to deliver in Mulago Hospital, and we are extremely very happy. And you see, this is a very good hospital. We are very happy.
But again, even those who are paying, one would wonder, this is built using maybe some money that we have borrowed, right?
Yes.
And that is money that Ugandans are going to pay back.
Yes.
So why don't you, maybe government or whoever is responsible, cut the money to the bare minimum possible so that whoever is referring herself there does not have to pay through the nose?
I have told you exactly that this is what is happening because Nakasero and HK pay much more than, they charge more than what we charge. So that means actually this is because it is subsidized. The health workers are on a payroll and the buildings belong to the government.
What I'm telling you really, I'm listening to the cries of the women who have been able to access help there, and they're still saying it's not affordable.
But have they compared it with Nakasero?
Well, they don't have to compare with Nakasero because this is a government hospital built by money that the government has borrowed, which is supposed to be paid by you and me and other Ugandans.
Then why don't you be properly referred and you enjoy the free treatment? Otherwise, if people are not properly referred, it means actually Mulago Hospital will fill up, even normal deliveries will come there, even people who have got flu in pregnancy will come, malaria in pregnancy, diarrhea in pregnancy. Those ones we can't handle. We can't handle because those are supposed to be handled at the center for a district hospital and regional referral hospital. You want us to handle malaria and flu and diarrhea in pregnancy? No, certainly that's not what a super specialized hospital is supposed to handle. We are supposed to handle complicated cases that have been taking people to South Africa, to India, to UK, and so forth. So and those ones are referred.
Do you see corporate Ugandans going to Kirudu and going to Kawempe to start from there because that's where they should be referred from, and then they come to your hospital? Because the services there in some of these regional hospitals or district hospitals are so poor that somebody cannot even start going there. That's
why we're saying that these corporate people who have been going, let's say, to India and so forth because they don't want to come to Mulago, now they don't want to go to Kawempe, let them come. And when they come...
Yeah, and those I'm talking about, if they come there, let them not find an exorbitant figure to pay that figure because they are Ugandans who are supposed to pay back this loan through their taxes.
For instance, if I ask you to pay 1.5 million for a Caesar and you are supposed to pay, let's say, 2.5 elsewhere, is that exorbitant? Because we have studied the prices, the local market, how much they charge, and Mulago actually charges far less than what the local market actually charges, and that is because this is a government hospital.
Let me maybe tell you something about the medical bills today. Yes. Even the corporate Ugandans, even those who are middle income earners, should, God forbid, should you fall sick or your loved one fall sick, and you are admitted in some of these hospitals in Kampala, may not have to mention, and maybe for a week or 2 or 3, you are in perpetual vulnerability of going back into poverty, because the bill that will come will be so exorbitant that will take you off. And for you to recover from that financially, in some cases, it can be impossible. Let me ask, why is medical care so expensive in this country?
Actually,
what makes it so expensive?
I want to ask you a question. That medical care must be very expensive because health is cheaper than ill-health. If you think really health is very expensive, to try ill-health and see. That's what I would say. If you try the ill-health, it is far expensive. Moreover, the life is what you inherited from God through your parents, and that's the most important and expensive commodity you have on this world. It's not your car or your house.
So in some cases, it's okay. So because part of the money the patients are paying, Dr. Yarugaba,
yes,
is part of accommodation. Really, that they're charging you for staying there in a bed, maybe 200,000 or 250 per day. So I'm wondering, can't some of these things be cut down? No, if it's not the medicine.
That is
because I'm paying for the ambience, I'm paying for the accommodation, I'm paying for the water, I'm paying. Should that be the case?
Actually, for us, we are very cheap. For instance, if you went to IHK or those other hospitals and you are in intensive care unit, in intensive care, you'll be paying 1 million or more than 1 million.
I wouldn't want to be talking names of hospitals here. I would be accused of economic sabotage. But
okay.
Let me ask you one thing.
Let me say this.
Is that fair? Is that what you're a medical doctor? You live in this Kampala. You're Ugandan.
Yes.
Is that fair that somebody is hospitalized for a week or 2? You get a bill of about 50 million shillings. I've seen it somewhere.
Yes, you could have seen that one, but that one is depending on how much people have used it, especially in intensive care unit, to manage such a patient.
So that kind of money is justifiable?
That one, that would be justifiable, not in Mulago Hospital. But in Mulago Hospital, such a people actually are charged about 500,000 actually per week. And that's the little money we charge. And you can imagine if we were charging like some of those hospitals. But actually, what we use, if you don't get them from government, they are damnly expensive to have, and that's why those people actually charge that money. If you were abroad, you would be charged probably like 100 million a week, and that's why people go there, and when they die, they can't even remove their bodies. Yes. So health is actually expensive elsewhere.
That's the answer I wanted from you. Okay, yes. That's the response I wanted to hear from you, because I've been asking myself, is this justifiable? And you're saying, yes, it is.
Yes, it is justifiable actually, because what we use is far expensive. Let me tell you something, that here, what you expect in hospitals here is essential medicines and essential health supplies. These essential medicine and essential health supplies were supposed to manage complications like diseases of malaria, diarrhea, flu, to mention but a few. But now here is a person actually who has got like myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction is heart attack, and he comes to the hospital. When you come to the hospital, you require drugs that the government does not provide. Thanks to be the government of Uganda and the national medical stores, that most of the essential medicine and essential health supplies are supplied about, like in Mulago, we get about maybe 97% of what we require for essential medicines. But the medicines that for super specialized services are not provided by government. And I want you to know this. Are not provided by government. You do not get, for example, meropenem, or you get drugs like ganciclovir, or you get other things to use from government. And that is why we have actually some of the private wings. In these private wings of the hospitals, private wings, they are private pharmacies.
So, in effect, what you are saying, yes, should you fall sick and you require some of the specialized kind of medicine,
yes,
and you are from a poor family, you cannot afford, you are destined to die. That's what actually will happen.
What I'm saying is that those medicines actually are not readily available in government facilities.
But Dr. Yes, Byarugaba,
that you
should
may
that
have
be
to
understood to mean that
yes,
a poor Ugandan who cannot afford this kind of medicine, even if they bring you to this hospital, because you don't have the money, you will surely die?
No, because
what would be the alternative for you to access this medicine that is not provided by government if you are a Ugandan who cannot afford?
Now, if you are a Ugandan and you cannot afford, and you go to these hospitals, that is why these hospitals, for example, like Mulago Hospital, that's why we have got private pharmacies in private wings. So we use that medicine, and the hospital pays for you. That's what it means. That when we have private pharmacies, they have got medicines, and this in the private wing of the hospitals, and it is that medicine because the private
and so Mulago will meet the bill
of
that lady who has come from Bundubujo or from Kenjojo where he come from.
Yes,
and they pay for them.
Is
that what you are telling Ugandans, Dr. Byarugaba?
This is what I'm telling Ugandans, that some of these people have used the money from the private wing, which other people, you and other people have paid to help these people to recover.
So what will be the most efficient system to be able to access medical care for the rest of Uganda? National health insurance scheme?
I would say that we need the national health insurance scheme, but we also need to strengthen the private wing of the hospitals so that actually they generate some funds, and these funds also help the poor patients who don't have the money.
So, but is that sustainable?
That's what we can do now, but the health insurance is sustainable. Because even people who are not in a formal employment can contribute money to health insurance scheme.
How?
I have seen actually where I come from in Rukunji, the CIS hospital, and even the peasants are paying some money. There is a health insurance scheme, and peasants are paying some money, and they are being helped when they go to CIS hospital. Actually, now they have got over 40,000 people or clients on that scheme.
You are a senior doctor in this country, executive director of a national referral hospital. Why have we failed as a country to have an efficient national health insurance scheme? So that the poor can be helped. But also, not even the poor, even the corporate Ugandans cannot afford these hospitals you're talking about. They cannot.
Actually, we have not failed as a country. As a country, we have not failed. What we are doing is really a steady progress. Because now you have seen that they have passed the bill.
You have picked that line from an NRM political
book. No, not NRM, but this is a fact. That's the fact that we have gone a steady progress. The national health insurance was discussed. Now it has been discussed, and we are really progressing very well. And I have told you that before that we had these private wings of the hospitals, which actually are helping the poor Ugandans to be treated, and which is very good.
We have one of the best medical schools in Africa. In fact, foreigners are coming to train in Makerere and in Mbarara universities. But if we can't retain the best of Uganda to work in Uganda, we are training for Botswana, for Rwanda, and other places. How do we make sure we retain the best of Uganda to work in Uganda?
The retention of these the best people is we are retaining them. A few years back, we were paid very little. But now, thanks be to the government of the Republic of Uganda, that now the salaries of these health workers has started to be increased. And very soon, His Excellency has said that we shall be having...
but you know, Uganda Medical Association with their leader, Dr. Buku, have been making some positive noise about the poor pay. And you know it is not, the house is not in order.
Yes, but we are getting there.
And you also know the intern doctors who do some crucial role also are also up in arms.
No, you are mixing a few issues. Don't mix issues. Let's look at the doctors, the doctors who are employed now, the salary of these doctors is progressively increasing. That one, you know it. It's progressively increasing, and that we are really getting the retraining. We are retraining these people. I have told you since 2014, we have been taking these people to be trained in super specialized services. So we are training them, and the salary is increasing. And once the salary has increased and we have retrained them, we are trying actually to retain them. Regarding the issue of the interns are very good people. Actually, a few minutes ago, before I left the hospital, I was discussing with them. They are very good people, and we have not forgotten them. We are now discussing with them and theirs also, because now we have started the budget cycle. I can assure you, at the end of this budget cycle, we shall also have put something for these interns.
You know,
there's ones who are going to replace us. They will retreat us, so we cannot forget them. They are our colleagues.
How are you sure that the Minister of Finance, and how are you sure that the Parliament, this 10th Parliament, are going to appropriate funds to give you? Because sometimes, with all respect, Dr. Byarugaba, sometimes you speak like a politician. But how are you sure? Because you say you are going to put the money. You can make a request, but you are not the one to appropriate the funds.
Yes, I am not the one to appropriate the funds, but there are certain things, you see, to motivate people. It doesn't mean that you must only increase the salary. There are other motivating factors. For instance, you have built houses for health workers, and I'm reserving some areas to accommodate interns. A few minutes ago, I was saying the old mess of the interns, they should occupy it, for instance. And when you help them on accommodation, you are motivating these people. For instance, I am looking at how these interns can have tea at the place of work when they are on the ward. Can they have tea? Can they have food? Those are some of the things actually that we.
So they have not been having tea. They have not been having food.
These are what.
This is how
we are saying.
Currently, they are not having tea. They are not having food, and
yes,
but they are working in the ward.
Yes, actually, they were not budgeted for tea, for instance. But now we are saying, can they have tea? Can they have meals? Can they have water, electricity? Because now we are going to accommodate them. Yes, and this is the motivation for these interns. Imagine they have been sleeping out of the hospital. So other hospitals are equally doing that.
Okay.
Meaning the government is looking into these interns.
Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, we're going to take a break and we'll come back and continue with this discussion. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amar. My guest tonight is Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, who is the Executive Director of the National Referral Hospital, Mulago. I've just remembered the glory days of Mulago. And we read in the books of history that former President Dr. Milton Obote, when he was injured in an assassination attempt on his life, was rushed to Mulago Hospital with a serious injury. They worked on him and he got better. And that's the Mulago that could treat VIPs to the level of the President of the Republic of Uganda. Today, VIPs, when they fall sick, sometimes even a simple ailment, including delivering babies, they are flown out. What happened?
I want to assure you on one thing, that even now, the VIPs, the big people in this country, are also using Mulago Hospital. They are, yes. We treat them in Mulago Hospital. But you know, there's a huge bill of VIPs who are treated in India and South Africa for ailments that could have been handled in Mulago. You see, I want to tell you something. You see, the public may expect that we, when, for example, may God forbid, the president or the vice president or the prime minister of this country comes for consultation in Mulago Hospital, we should announce it on the radio or TV. This is not true. We are professionals and we keep ethics.
What we are saying you that is true is that we have seen VIPs travel abroad for ailments that many have said could have been handled in Mulago.
Yes, actually.
And you, because of your Hippocratic
oath, yes.
Hippocratic oath, you cannot tell us who has sought medical attention from your hospital, whatever it is. But we can know who has gone out on the government money to be treated abroad in a case that could have been handled in Mulago. You
see, those who are going out and they have passed through us, we have referred them, and we used to refer them because we didn't have the equipment. But now I can assure you we have got equipment and we are not going to refer them abroad. We shall be working on them from Mulago Hospital. And those who have been with us, we cannot tell you that I have seen so and so. That is against medical ethics. So when people, we don't tell them, they think these big people don't come. These people come, we arrange for them, we examine them and treat them. But we are not here to tell people that so and so came.
Under your hypocritical oath, I'm
Yes.
not expecting even you, I'm not expecting you to be able to tell me that. I'm only, Dr. Byarugaba, telling you about the people that we know that have traveled on government money.
Yes.
Including delivering babies.
Yeah, that when actually I didn't have the hospital of the kind of specialized maternal and neonatal hospital. I didn't have it. And you see how Mulago was congested and so forth. It is possible it could have been done. And it's possible some other people could have gone. But most of other government officials, we have handled them in Mulago. It's only that we cannot tell you because of ethics. Yes.
We still have a significantly high number of maternal deaths in Uganda. I'm told the statistics say 16 women die every day due to pregnancy-related complications, and that's quite a high number. Some of them are dying because maybe they are children who are giving birth at an early age, you know, child marriage that is rampant in Uganda. Others because of delayed arrival at hospital, but others because in some hospitals lack of that drug that could stop the bleeding after delivery. What do we need to do to make sure that our mothers, our wives, our sisters and our aunties can deliver safely without the horror of thinking somebody is going to die in childbirth?
I want to assure you on this that what we need to do is, first of all, we need to drum a campaign and educate our sisters, our wives, and so forth, to come to the hospital much earlier, to attend antenatal and come to the hospital much earlier. And also want to say this, that it is true and very true that government has enough medicines for the essential medicines and essential health supplies. We have got the drugs that are available. But what we need now is to make sure that the private wings of these hospitals are well stocked. And the private wings, once they are well stocked, such a medicines would be found there. And that's why we have to have, because of what we don't have in the general wing, we have to have it in the private wings. Now, by working with some private people, we stock the private wings so that any medicine can be found. And when we stock these, it means having the private wings that we have, one, we have access to medicines very quickly, that such a person breeding gets medicine very quickly, that these medicines we have got control over, rather than just writing and they go and get the drug, you reach there, they give you an expired drug and you come with it. And also we have got control on the prices. And that's very good. But there are some other drugs which, of course, like what you have mentioned, others I have told you, ganciclovir, meropenem, and so forth, that the government cannot have. And that's why we put these private wings to have to work with them. And these private wings are open 26 hours. That even when you are on a table in a theater and there is no drug, because the drug required is super specialized, it is non-essential, then you can say, you people, hey, I want this drug to give to my patient, the patient cannot die. Then the patient, we go and get that drug from the private wing. If the patient cannot pay, the hospital pay for that patient.
I have heard stories from medical doctors who are working in far-flung hospitals in rural Uganda, who have had the horror of watching a patient die when that patient shouldn't have died because of lack of a simple thing like gauze and whatever it is. They have seen those things happen. And sometimes medical doctors in this country have decided to leave because you cannot be in a hospital, you are poorly equipped, and you see a patient who should not really have died at all, die because you have not been facilitated to save a life.
But you see, that one happened then. That one happened then. But let me take you a little bit to the history of this country in the medical services. You see, medical services in this country began in 1897. I hope you are aware that on 22nd of Feb 1897, Albert Cook, the then doctor, started medical services in this country. And when he started in this country, what happened was he used the monies from the private wing, because the Ugandans were suffering from syphilis, sleeping sickness, and they were practicing witchcraft. That's why the Kabaka invited those people to come. And these monies were compensating for what government then was giving to Sir Albert Cook. Now later on, of course, when we got independent, we stopped these monies. Now when you sit in Mulago, for example, Mulago Hospital, and you see that I'm going to work at this, what do you do? Or you are sitting in a regional hospital and so forth. That's why we say we want to work with private people to put drugs and sundries that are otherwise not supplied by government, and yet they are needed, critically needed, so that actually we have them, so that any patient in need, we are calling upon them. And
so,
that
but
is why
but you know what has happened, I'm
Yes.
hearing, is that, for example, the private pharmacies that are within the principles of a government hospital,
Yes.
the pharmacies are owned also by by doctors within. So there's an element of abuse of office, internal collusion, and maybe influence peddling. Somebody just prescribes for you, even if the medicine was there, you cross to the next pharmacy, which is owned by a doctor that is within. Is that acceptable?
no, and that's not acceptable, because
But that's the head
no.
of state was giving an order to stop those pharmacies, to close them. In fact, Twaweza did a research showing that out of 3 patients that get prescriptions in government hospitals, only one can get the medicine.
I want to tell you this.
That's a research done by Twaweza.
Yes, I have not read that research. It is possible that
It's a public document now. You'll be able to get it.
That where that person did the research, that it is true. But the truth is, this research was not done in Mulago Hospital. And what I can assure you is that in Mulago Hospital, there is no single doctor or nurse that owns a pharmacy. We have got an organ of government, an organization of government called Health Monitoring Unit, which is mandated to really audit and trace the government drugs. And to my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, confidence and belief up to now, this monitoring unit has never traced the drugs of government into the private wings of Mulago Hospital.
But
And
you know that the head of state, that the president ordered the closure of those pharmacies within hospital environs.
Yes.
But you haven't closed them in Mulago.
Let me give you something that it is true. He ordered that.
You are defiant.
No. We don't defy the presidential order.
So what
but
happened?
Look at the private pharmacies. Before I come to that, I'm coming to that. That the private wing, the role of these pharmacies, the pharmacies that we have in Mulago Hospital are part of the private wing. They are here to help us to get such specialized drugs that hitherto are not supplied by national medical stores. We have access to them, and we control the quality of those drugs that are there, and also control the cost of those drugs that are there. And these private wings are open 24 hours, so that actually at any time patients and us can access those drugs. And you recall that these days we have to work with the private people so that we are able to increase the efficiency. And this is exactly what we are doing. Those was in Mulago Hospital, we procured them as follows. We advertised and people bidded. We went through the bidding process, evaluation took place, and after evaluation, we awarded the best evaluated bidders. We signed the contract, we took the contracts to Solicitor General, to advisors, and we signed the contracts. And so the ones in Mulago were there legally, and we are not owned by health workers, who, if you can check to the register of companies, they will find that these were not owned by those. And no single drug has been traced from Mulago Hospital to them, and we have been with them very well. Regarding the presidential directive, I agree with the president, because he is informed from different corners, really from different corners. And Mulago Hospital, we are not here as executive, really as managers of the hospital to defy the presidential order. The presidential order came through the minister to NDA, and we have implemented as far as NDA really is concerned. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to take you back to the element of maternal health, because
Yes.
we didn't exhaust that, and because the statistics have continued to show us that the number is not reducing.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we can look at those statistics and we think, okay, 16 women, but which means in real sense is that tonight there is somebody somewhere in Uganda who is mourning the death of a sister, of a mother, of a daughter, of a wife, of an auntie. And that happens every day. So I'm wondering, you have had intervention. You have told us what is maybe desirable, what is to be done. But why is it that this government, the medical healthcare, has failed to reduce those numbers?
You see, what we needed to know is, where have we been? And the saying goes that it is not the height which a man or woman climbs that matters, but the depths from whence he comes. Where have we come from? You recall very well that in the 70s and early 80s, where we were. In fact, I don't know, maybe you just forgot. I'm just telling you that in that Mulago Hospital, for example, Dr. Milton Obote, when he got injured in an assassination attempt, he was worked on at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Yes, but you see,
I don't want anything to be for one of our leaders. I've been talking about, if you can have a head of state rush to Mulago Hospital and he's admitted there and he recovers, that's where we're from. That's our history.
No, that's our history. But
yes.
you know what befell us in the 70s and early 80s. You know what befell us. And if you know what befell us, and you see where we were, where we have come from, really we have done a tremendous job. We could in 1979, for example, in 1981, 85, were there 1,600 women dying per day from the maternal complications? I have told you, it is not the depths. I mean, it's not the height which a man or woman climbs that matters, but the depths from whence he comes. We have come from very far. We have reached here. Now, women, we have increased the number of hospitals. We have increased the number of
the hospital you're talking about,
people have access.
Just a year or two ago, I was visiting a hospital. I have visited like 2 or 3, including Kiriandongo, including Kawolo here, and it was disheartening to see at the entrance of a theater.
Yes.
Health workers improvising, using charcoal stove to sterilize equipment because your autoclaving machines died long time ago.
As of now, we have got...
But perhaps you have seen medical workers improvise, Dr. Vyarugaba.
Yes, of course.
And I have a lot of respect for the Ugandan medical workers because they have improvised and they have saved lives. But they deserve better.
I agree with you that medical workers have improvised and have saved lives. But you see, what was happening in 1897, we didn't have electricity. We had to boil the instruments. Actually, we have to boil the instruments using charcoal stoves, and these instruments, and Albert Cook had to do scissors, and it was very, very, very okay. In fact, I don't say that we should not have these equipment.
So it's
This equipment,
Dr. Berugaba, it's okay to have a charcoal stove just on the entrance of a theater?
No. In modern Uganda, it is not okay. I will also repeat this one. In modern Uganda, it's not okay. But
you have seen in your line of duty
yes,
that's happening in this country.
Yeah, of course, some of the medical workers may not actually even get those facilities that are in the stores to use them. We have seen this one happen.
Meaning what?
That you have got, for example, an equipment and you have not pulled it from the store to use it.
So that's negligence,
so this one can happen. But
you're telling us something very fundamental, that yes, you could be having even the resources to use, but the personnel or the human resources you have is not using them. So are they not motivated? They do not know.
They may not know actually how to use it, because you know that we have got in a center force that are supposed to operate, and sometimes some of them may not do the operations because even they themselves may not be confident.
So,
and
Dr.
Yes.
Doctor, you're telling us here that you have medical personnel in some hospitals who cannot run medical equipment.
Yeah, in some of those centers who may not be confident. And that is why you saw Ministry of Health come up to say we have changed the way the internship is done so that we produce people who are very confident, who can set up those machines because they have acquired the skills and use them. That's the reason why the internship was changed from the 333 to 66. That's the only reason, to produce confident doctors to go and use those machines. We also know that, of course, people...
There's been a story from Ginger that they procured an equipment, I think, in the ICU unit.
Yes.
That has not been used, despite the fact that it took billions of shillings to be procured. Because, like you have just said, probably lack of the requisite technical skill.
Yes, that's what I've said, lack of the technical skills. But thanks be to God, Mbarara University started a course in the critical care, and in Mulago we have opened up and invited other regional referral hospitals to come and work with us so that they are able to gain these skills and take those skills back home and help the Ugandans.
I've also seen a charcoal stove being used in the premature section under those beds. And I was wondering, how do you do that to warm up the babies?
Yes, actually, if you don't have a warmer, that one can be used, especially at
with all those fumes, Dr.
Yeah, it can be used in homes. They are used. If you have nothing to use, you can use it. Of course, I'm not saying that that's the standard of care. It's not a standard of care, but you would rather use it than losing a baby. You have produced premature. You know, people produce premature. In fact, among the Bachiga, they used to use these husks or whatever comes from sorghum and preserve the baby. Yes. So if you have nothing to use it and keep the baby alive. But if you have got something to use, don't use it. I am saying, if you have nothing to use it so that you preserve life. But if you don't have anything to use, if you have a lot to use, you use more than what
I'm telling you, Dr. Garugaba, is that in some cases that's the norm, and I'm wondering,
like which I don't know.
I saw it in a hospital.
Not in Uganda today. Which hospital in Uganda is using a charcoal stove to keep the baby alive? I don't think. Not Mulago Hospital. Not Mulago Hospital. I cannot imagine any of those regional hospitals.
You have not seen it.
I have not seen it in the recent past.
Okay.
Not in Mulago Hospital.
When you're saying the recent past, now I do not know how recent that means, but you have seen it. You haven't seen it in the recent past.
I have not seen it in the recent past. That was during those times of when we were during the time of when we went down in Amini's time, in the 70s and early 80s, in 80s. That's when those things happened.
Let me tell you, just before the World Bank grant.
Yes.
That was given about 4 or 5 years ago to rehabilitate those major hospitals.
Yes.
That included Kiryandongo, that included Kawolo, included Mitiana and Mubende. The situation was dire.
But now,
and the money that was gotten is just because you borrowed a grant the other time. You can say now we're a little bit better.
We are better.
And you know that grant of the World Bank money just came recently. Some rehabilitation is not yet totally complete.
That is a steady progress, I've told you. That we are steadily progressing. We are not going backwards.
I like the way how you pick a line from the NRM playbook.
No, it is not picking. It's not picking a line, but that's the truth.
That's the steady progress.
You don't want to see the truth. It's a steady progress. It's a steady progress. Yes.
But maybe let's change gears now.
Yes,
because now we need you're a senior consultant doctor. There is a high prevalence of non-communicable diseases, NCDs, and now especially cancer, because this month is a cancer awareness month. As we speak, I actually have my childhood friend who is admitted in hospital somewhere in Nigeria, again battling cancer. What is going on? What should we be doing? What are we doing wrong?
You see, I definitely agree with you that there is high prevalence of non-communicable diseases, and especially sometimes not only cancer but even others. Now the challenge that we have is that the good thing actually that we have is that we have got increased awareness. And now the government, thanks be to government and you yourselves for these programs where we are making the public aware of the diseases. Sometimes they used to die. These diseases were there, but sometimes they used to die because they think people have been bewitched and so forth and so forth, when actually they are dying of diseases because they have not been able to be diagnosed. Now, other than really awareness, also the doctors now know about these, the health workers know about these diseases. So now you go to hospital and the doctors check for these diseases and tell you this is this. The health-seeking behavior of Ugandans has improved. Now, after improving their seeking behavior, the other thing is our lifestyle. Our lifestyle is very bad. You find a man, he has eaten a whole pig, he's eating two hens or 4 hens, he eats a tray of eggs, all of them he puts them here, and you see a man is pregnant of food. You can imagine this one, the stomach is here, the bums are up there, the thing is swollen. You don't know whether it's a pig or it's a sack. It is very difficult. So if you are going to eat as if you are the one who raised those eggs, or crocodile, it means you are getting many problems. The other problems, of course, you get HIV, you increase also the rate of, your chances of getting cancer. You know it. Yeah, so people should know how to prevent themselves, how to eat properly, and go to hospital so that they get these diseases early. For instance, when did you last get your medical examination?
When I fell sick.
Yes, when you feel sick, you see, this is very bad. You are supposed to come to Mulago. In fact, I invite you to come to Mulago tomorrow. We do an endoscopy and colonoscopy and see whether you don't have malignancy. You don't know whether you have cancer of the prostate. And that's that. Actually, Ugandans don't want to come to hospital. They think they come to hospital when they are sick. A hospital is not where people go when they are only sick. You are supposed to go there and we repair you. Do you take your car to the garage only when it can't move?
You have to service it.
You have to service it. So come to the hospital and we service you. And that's why people go wrong, like those close friends of yours. They are supposed to come to me and we service them. When I say me, I say come to Mulago, for instance, and we service you. What are you waiting for? And we'll advise you how to eat, how to prevent your condition.
So the issue,
yes,
in most cases, why we see this high prevalence is because the habit of seeking medical attention has increased. Diagnosis is much better. And maybe because of our livelihoods, our lifestyle, sorry.
Yes.
And we have to change all those. People need to exercise and eat well, and also seek medical attention. Not seek medical attention, do routine checks.
Yeah, they have to do routine checks. And also bearing in mind that, you see, now people have got peace. With this peace has caused the problem in this country. You see, people drink. You drink up to AM. And what do you expect? Tomorrow you are drunk, and the other day you destroy your liver, and then you die. After when you have destroyed your liver because you have drunk too much, you come up and say, government is not doing much, government are too yambi. When you have been drinking,
you have blown your liver.
Yes, you have blown your liver. And you have been drinking like a fool. I say, government are too yambi. Help you in doing what? To drink? You see, or to look for medicine to help you when you are drinking. Like I can't imagine. So we need to know how to prevent ourselves from getting disease. So prevention is better than cure. Most men are not testing their cancers of the prostate, and they come up when the cancer has gone, beyond control. And when they die, they just say, people have, the mafias have killed us and so forth. That's not correct.
Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, I'll open the lines so that you two at home can be a part of this discussion. The numbers are going to be on your screen. Please pick a phone and tell us what you think, and make your contribution precise and concise so that we are able to get many more people to contribute on this program. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, who is the Executive Director of the National Referral Hospital. You've just heard in a promo there of the show that we have called the Doc Talk. They're actually talking about the same of NCDs and how they're increasing.
Yes.
And there was that feeling back in the day that those were diseases of the rich that normally attacking people in Kampala and whatever, but not in the village, not anymore. Now you can actually find a child who's diabetic in the village, a woman who has high blood pressure and all these kind of things. They seem to have, moved almost all over.
Yes.
And you said one of the reasons that we check early, another thing is that we check our diet and our lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay. Uganda is a signatory to the Abuja Declaration. I think the Abuja Declaration that called for government to put about 15% of their budget into the health sector. They have never done that. I think the government of Uganda has been hovering to around between 8 maybe and 7%. What will it take for the Abuja Declaration, for which Uganda is a signatory, to be realized in your view?
I just want to give you an example. If we say that let's put me and you and Mr. Z and W 15% of our budget to the for food for eating for food, and for you are earning more and me I'm earning less. Is that practical? Because the Abuja Declaration was made, and indeed the government is following this Abuja Declaration, only that we are still poor. And what we have is that one. Because also putting 15% of the budget into the health sector, and we can't make a road. The roads are very poor, we don't have electricity and so forth. You know, with electricity, do you know how electricity contribute to health? How the road contribute to health? Some of this percentage is put into health, but indirectly. You increase the road, you better referral. When you make roads, better referral. Electricity, good health, good in the hospitals, you are doing very well. Agriculture, good feeding, good health. Security, good security in the country, good health. And then somebody wakes up and says, you're not putting it 15%. Is he saying you should put it directly? Even indirectly, you are putting this money. And I can assure you,
they are questioning the commitment the government made. If it was uncalled for, if it wasn't right, then they should have said, you know what, you should have urged. Don't sign on what you can't. Yes,
but you see, I am telling you how government is putting that money through security, because don't we need security to have good health?
So you're saying the whole idea was that money is going to be embedded into other sectors. Was that the intention?
If your intention is to have money for health, and I'm giving it to you through different means, why shouldn't you appreciate that? You are putting money in agriculture, it is health, good feeding. Security, you have good life. Roads, you have got good referrals. Electricity, you can work on the patients in the hospitals much better, for instance. And you have to where to read, and you know, when you are not ignorant, you are healthy. So that is very important. And I want to also tell you that as we are becoming better, slow but steady progress, we are becoming better, we're going to get money in oil. And where do we put it? It is health.
Dr. Vergava, are you really putting your hope in the oil money? I think you'll have to keep shifting your goals, because that oil money was supposed to have come maybe 6 years ago and it hasn't. And how I say things now, it's quite a long shot. And
I have already told you that it is not the height which a person climbs, but the depth from whence he comes. And I have told you that we have a steady progress. We are getting there.
You know, you are aware that the companies that are supposed to be doing that have suspended the whole.
Don't worry.
You're aware that Total has suspended the whole.
Suspension. We will get there.
And you know that we have borrowed so much money, that what it means really that we have mortgaged the oil even when before it gets out of the ground.
As long as
because our debt is so huge.
As long as it is not stolen from there, I think we will get there.
We're going to open the lines so that you too, who is watching this broadcast, you can be able to be a part of this discussion. The numbers are on your screen. Please pick a phone and tell us, and make it very precise and concise. I have a caller online. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Alex. I'm calling from Entebbe.
Yes, Alex, you are on air and you are so loud and clear.
Good evening, Dr. Biarugaba.
Good evening, sir.
I have got a short question. You have done very well in improving Mulago.
Thank you.
The infrastructure.
Thank you.
The training of specialists, which you have mentioned.
Thank you.
And many other things. And you know, it's a marvelous performance. Now, I wanted to ask you about the drugs. When you were planning all this, what I've said, the infrastructure and other services, did you know that, you know, in the future you have got to revise the list of essential drugs so that, you know, the drugs which were formerly not on the list of drugs have now to be brought on the list, so that the specialists can have these drugs available for all patients who are coming into the hospital. So that, you know, and I guess this was the basis upon which the president gave his directive, So in short, do you want to revise your list of drugs so that those which were non-essential can now be brought on board as essential drugs? That is my question.
Thank you very, thank you very much. Sorry? You have another question, Alex? You've gone off. Thank you very much. I think you've spoken with so much clarity, and very soon Dr. Byarugaba will be responding to you. Let me take another call online.
Hello.
So, good evening, sir.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir. You're on air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm called Noah from Kitevi.
Okay.
What hope can doctor give us? Because we have been seeing many people standing on the gate and waiting for the people, diverting them, maybe to take them in other hospitals. So what hope can doctor give us or can tell Ugandans that they can come and get service inside the hospital? And another thing I want to thank doctor that he has tried to advise Ugandans who drank from morning up to evening, and when they come in the hospital, they charge them a lot and they start telling government at Yambe. So as you must take care of ourselves, because I believe that when you take a lot of alcohol, it will affect your health, even and even the future of your life and the future of your children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll call it there. I'm going to take maybe 2 more callers, and then Dr. Byarugaba will respond to you at once. I have another call online. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir. You are on air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm called Elvis. I'm calling in from Tinda.
Okay. Go right ahead, sir.
I had doctor talk about the pharmacy, the private pharmacies that are in the hospital are only selling medicines that the government doesn't have. I'm asking him, so those pharmacies do not have paracetamol, they don't have amoxicillin in their stores. They are not. Are they only selling the ones that you mentioned? I heard you say mentioning meropenem. Those are the ones that you think that the government doesn't have. So you think those pharmacies are only stocking only those drugs that you talked about?
All right, you've asked your question, sir. Thank you very much. Let me take the last caller online. I know there are very many who would want to ask you tonight.
Mine has gone.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
Mine has gone.
Hello? Okay, as if I have two people online at the same time, so I don't know. Hello? Hello? Okay, my producers will be working on that technical glitch that we seem to have gotten, but now, Dr. Byarugaba, you could respond to those. Which are going to, hello?
Yes, good evening, doctor.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mbuya here.
Yes.
Good evening, BP.
Good evening, sir.
I have 2 questions. You
Yes.
have indicated that at the private drug shops in Mulago, for example, the first pharmacy, that they are selling drugs which the government doesn't have. Does the government have plan to procure those drugs? Or it is a monopoly whereby the first pharmacy, they are the one to sell those drugs to Ugandans? 2, if the principal, HE, gave a directives, because I know in Mulago, I've been going there, they have also CT scans, 2 CT scans privately. Why is it government cannot bring those machines for Ugandans? And why should Ugandans continue begging members from Mulago administration that to ensure that they have those private arrangements? Yet government every day they confirm to Ugandans that we have enough drugs.
All right.
Recently, I happened to be in the National Health Assembly, in office of the President, where Mr. Kamabale was there. We asked him a question regarding the drugs in the government hospitals. He gave us the statistics showing that all the drugs are there and are being supplied to government hospitals.
All right, sir. All right, sir. You've made your point very well. I think let's now have Dr. Byarugaba respond to your questions, which is going to take us to the end of the show.
Thank you very much. And I had a question about the plans on the essential drugs. What am I trying to do planning for essential drugs, and whether we are going to replace them with the specialized drugs. I want to assure fellow Ugandans that the essential drugs is a list that is there for the supply, the supply of essential medicines and essential supplies. Now, this list, we can't change it. It is going to be there because it is meant for health center 4s, health center 3s, district hospitals, and others. What Mulago Hospital is currently doing is to orientate their budget to see whether national medical stores, in the little money that there is in national medical stores, whether they can provide us with specialized medicine and specialized drugs. That is what we are trying to do in this budgeting cycle. That's what we're going to do. However, in the meantime, when this has not happened, that is why we have invited these private pharmacies which are working with our private wing, so that we have got these essential, we have these super specialized medicines available so that people don't come and die. And these super specialized medicines that are in these private wings have helped many Ugandans. You come at midnight, you come at 3 a.m., you find these pharmacies open, and instead of referring you to Wandegea, you get this medicine and we help you. Okay. By the way, there are people who go to Wandegea and they are hit. Some people are their monies are stolen from them because before we established these pharmacies, but now that one is no more. Imagine you come to hospital and you are injured trying to get a drug. Now that's why we bring services because the people are not injured. Regarding the hope of getting services, what hope to get services in the hospitals? This, yes, we know after completion of the specialized hospital, of Rowa Mulago, and with the completion of women and maternal hospital, we have got hope that all of these services are going to be readily available. And the medicines we are going to see how to change from essential to specialized drugs and request the government. And I'm sure government is going to give us more funds to serve Ugandans. Why not? Because we are still progressing. The private pharmacies at the moment, I've told you what the gap they are bridging. They're bridging the gap that the government is not providing super specialized services, medicines, and yet these medicines are essential for super specialized services. We cannot watch and see people dying. We have got to get in another way. We have got to innovate, have innovation. You are seeing people die today and people die tomorrow. Would you be happy? As the executive director, you are sitting, a person comes, dies, another one comes, dies, because you don't have meropenem, because you don't have gansai clover, and what do you do? How do you innovate? You wait. So
your answer is the private pharmacies that can. The answer to that question is the private pharmacies working alongside the private hospital, the private wing. No,
they are part and parcel of the private wing. Provided they are actually procured properly, they should be part and parcel of the private wing. Because actually when you leave government to buy drugs or a hospital to buy drugs to put in the private wing. The pharmacy in the private wing without the private sector component do not make a profit.
All right.
And most of the drugs you go, and again they are not there. Imagine you go to a private wing hospital, but you can't get services because the drug is not available, and that one is not very beautiful. Then we have the private pharmacy. They said most important specialized drugs, but also you may find that they have got a Panadol, which Panadol actually is coming from Europe. Imagine our tourism sector. Patients come, these tourists come here, and they cannot get a better medicine. What happens? Do they come back? Do you know how much money we get from this private from tourism? Because they first ask, can I get drugs anytime I needed a drug? Can I get it from there? If I got myocardial infarction, do I get a drug for myocardial infarction? Or if I got this problem and I'm there, how best can people save my life? And that is exactly what we are trying to do. That in the meantime, we are waiting for government of the Republic of Uganda to give us more money. We bridge the gap so that these people don't fear us. And in fact, I can assure you, this has attracted also some of these tourists to come to this country, which is a very good, and it's a positive plus on us, really. And this is what is there. HE's directive, we are following the HE directive to dot. You cannot oppose a directive of the president.
Okay.
Yes. And
right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Byarugaba. What's going to be your concluding remark on the show tonight?
First of all, I thank the President and the government of the Republic of Uganda for giving money to Mulago Hospital and the Ministry of Health to innovate in Mulago, where you work as Executive Director. That's very good. I also thank the government for increasing the salaries of health workers. I also thank a government that working together, we can bring in the public-private partnership and have other people where the government cannot supply things. The private people can come and work with us and even increase our efficiency in doing these things. To the fellow Ugandans, I call upon my fellow Ugandans, including yourself, that the hospital is open 26 hours, that you need to come and have checks before you fall sick, and that is when you can benefit from the hospitals. Don't wait to be sick and wait to actually to die. And I don't want to hear that people say that hospitals are a death trap. It is because you come very late and we can't help you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Very much, Dr. Byarugaba Baterana, who is Executive Director of the National Referral Hospital, Mulago. Thank you very much. We appreciate your insights on the matter. We thank you, all of you have been a part of this discussion, and those who have even sent in your questions. We thank you very much. And to you, the medical work of Uganda, I have a lot of respect for you, that you have done so much to save lives. Even without much pay, you have innovated so that Ugandans can live. We thank you, and we're humbled by that. Good night and God bless Uganda.